Welcome back, everybody, to the award-winning show, Fun in the Locker Room. My name is Truett Karstetter. We have the award-winning Liam Holloway, the man, the myth, the legend that needs no introduction, Sean Rankel. And we're going to give you everything going on in the world of sports right now, June 2nd, 2025. Summer is right around the corner. You could say it's officially begun. We have so much to talk about. The entire NBA playoff bracket. I don't even know if any of the NBA playoffs had started last time we were on the air, but we're going to cover it and we're going to give you our expert analysis because let's be honest, our three opinions are probably the best three opinions on the internet when it comes to sports. So we know that's what you want to hear. We're not going to just tell you what happened. We're going to tell you what should happen. We're going to get into some baseball as well. I don't know if we have too much to cover football offseason wise. We'll cover anything that's happened, if anything's happened, Villanova sports-wise, and then we'll see where we go from there. But obviously, with what's going on right now, we have a whole mountain of sports news to cover in the world of basketball, and we'll probably just get to the tip of the iceberg today. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to basically take a look at all the teams. We're down to two teams, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers, which means that 14 other teams have been eliminated. We're going to go through all 14 of those teams. And Rank, that was quick math right there. All 14 of those teams and look at coming out of this playoff series. If you're the team, the owner, the GM, the star players, whatever, what are you looking at next? You've obviously endured this hard loss, whether it was a really bad loss or a close loss. What are we looking at next? And we're going to go cover the first round here. I'm going to let Rank go ahead and choose our first team to talk about.
Let's start out in the West because they're the left side of this bracket. Let's get them out of the way. We've brought them up before. Grizzlies lost, got swept by the now Western Conference Finals champion Oklahoma City Thunder very convincingly. I think it was the biggest loss ever in the playoffs. So that was the first game was true. I think it was 50 points.
Yes, you're correct.
And this team is led by a Ja Morant who is constantly always in trouble. And they need to blow this up. Get Ja Morant out of there. Desmond Bane, you guys were high on him a couple years ago, but he's not the player he once was, if ever. And they are a constant. Ja Morant's going to play 50 games, get suspended for 30, and they're going to be in the same spot again next year. They need to sell him while he's got some trade value.
So, Rank, you're saying that no one on that roster is untouchable?
Not a single person. You tell me Jaren Jackson's untouchable? JJJ? Not a chance.
I'm just shocked to hear you say that about Ja Morant. Maybe Zach Edey could be untouchable? Is that crazy?
Listen to what you're saying right now, man.
Liam, do you agree? You don't think that you could build a Grizzlies roster around Ja Morant that could contend for a championship? You think that time is past?
No, not at all. He cannot be the best player on a championship team. Absolutely not. He's shown it time and time again. He's shown in the playoffs he can't get it done. They've had this same roster for the past 4 years, and they haven't made any noise whatsoever. They won one round. They've won a single series.
It was a very loud single series win by them. But
they talk a lot of shit for a team that doesn't get shit done.
And arguably, they lost their best player in that series, the guy who actually brought that competitive fire in Dylan Brooks after that, as much as we don't like him. Like, that was the heart and soul of this team that he's now gone.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ja Morant, you're talking about his playoff struggles. In the 3 games he did play versus the Thunder, 18 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists on 41-25 splits. Pretty bad. I do want to give a shout out. I do kind of agree with you guys. I just wanted to challenge what you're saying. I think Scottie Pippen Jr. showed that he could actually be a player in this league. I don't know if he's excluded. It'd be weird to call him an untouchable, but if we're going to talk about any bright spots that came from the sweep, I would say Scottie Pippen Jr. really, when the lights were bright, showed up.
Yeah. Next team in the West, I think looking at the rest of Western Conference, these are teams that were not really blowing up. The Clippers took the Denver Nuggets to 7 games. This is probably the best version of this Clippers team we've seen in a long time, with James Harden running the point guard and running a much better looking team.
It's a tale as old as time. James Harden in Game 7s, man.
Yeah.
It was really sad to see because I feel like we were all rooting for the guy to do well. But once again, when the lights were brightest, he just got scared. There was piss running down his leg. There was shit in his pants. I don't know what do you go? Where do you do as the Clippers now? What do you do?
I think you have two schools of thought here. One, you can look at it like this is a really complete roster. This is probably, since Kawhi Leonard joined, probably the most well-rounded roster. A little bit of, we've talked about this before, addition by subtraction, getting rid of Paul George, bringing in depth. But you could also look at it and be like, we can't just run it back because we got career years out of Norman Powell, out of Zubac, out of Derek Jones Jr., Chris Dunn. Those are not spring chickens. Those are guys with a lot of games under their belts, a lot of miles on their shoes. And it's hard to expect that they could put this all together again. So I'm not endorsing one way or the other. I don't know what you guys think about that.
These guys are under contract next year. James Harden's got a player option, which he will definitely opt into, get paid $36 million. This team, as you started out through it, is a well-built team that is getting older, yes. But this is still the Clippers window in the new arena, new everything. You run this team right back how they are. Maybe you add a couple bench pieces. But if you have a top three of Norman Powell, James Harden, and Kawhi Leonard, you're going to make noise in the Western Conference year in, year out, especially when you get a full year of healthy Kawhi again, which is a big if, but you got to run it back.
Yeah. To follow up on Rank's point, they were 2 games away from being the 2 seed in this Western Conference. That says a lot about the team and their depth. You can expect guys like Chris Dunn, Derek Jones to maybe take a step back next year because Chris Dunn, all defensive team after being out of the league. Like, shit like that doesn't happen. It's going to be interesting to see who they get to solidify their bench, but that core of Zubac, Harden, Norm, Kawhi, they got good pieces there. So,
Frank, I totally agree on what you said about the key word here is a healthy Kawhi, which we haven't seen in a while, which was great to see. But you also have to look at it like Kawhi's body clock is probably not what his age is, but he is 33 years old. And you're thinking, I don't know if I have enough time to rebuild this team with him playing good basketball. So you might as well, if he's got 2-3 years of play at this level, you might as well just keep running this back.
Yeah.
Completely agree. Next team in the Western Conference, just going on the list, the Lakers.
It's a fun team to talk about.
And I feel like we talked about this last time, the fact that I gave them a little bit of credit for the fact that they were an incomplete team after that trade. And I think we will all echo the same thought that similar to the Thunder last year, they're a true center away from being really, really competitive.
Liam, your thoughts?
This might be a very hot take. In order for them to succeed in the next 2 or 3 years, LeBron James needs to take a pay cut.
Yep.
I don't think that's spicy at all. He needs to take a pay cut. He cannot be on a $60 million contract for them to succeed. But yeah, true center away. If that Mark Williams trade goes through, who knows what happens with this team in the playoffs? But it was evident against Minnesota. They need depth. Reeves did not look good as the third option out there in that defense of Reeves and Luka. Gabe Vincent and no center is absolutely terrible. I would not be surprised to see if they move Reeves this offseason.
It's a shame because I really like granted, we all saw JJ Redick played them, the same starting 5 for the entire second half, which I don't think has ever been done before. But I do like the pieces they have in their starting lineup with Finney-Smith and Hachimura specifically, just good, long, defensive wings that can just stretch the floor. I think, Liam, you made a great point about LeBron and his contract. I think you also need to understand, how many years left do you have of LeBron James? Do we need to go out and find another power forward at some point? Center, obviously immediate, and I think flipping Reeves for a center makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I don't. I think you have a lot of big questions you got to ask this offseason.
Why is LeBron being paid this much money? He is worth $1.2 billion. It is the most selfish thing that I have seen by a guy who preaches teammates and winning as the most important thing to come out and getting paid $56 million a year at 40 plus. He does not need the money. It is hurting his career. It's hurting his chances. Like, he could have won a couple more titles if he was taking less money. I'm not saying he's got to take $10 million. Like,
right. To be fair, you could say that about anyone because these all-stars could join up if they all took $5 million. Like,
yeah,
but
like,
I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
Tom Brady took less. Mahomes has been taking less. Like, these guys who want to win are taking less money when it matters the most. And LeBron just does not seem to be doing that. He hasn't done it for his entire career.
One of the rare moments we talk about LeBron, and I'll agree with you, Rank, on that. I will say, just half jokingly, he does live in California, so that 60 million isn't really 60 million at all. But you're right. You made a good point.
But I agree. Back to the thing, center and depth are the two things Lakers are lacking. And we'll say once again, we've said it for a couple years now, if Luka can get in shape and play some better defense, this could be a way different Lakers team next year.
He's already looking a little skinnier, so that's good.
Say it every offseason.
We see it every offseason.
Yeah.
Well, now that he actually has a competent training staff and not just some yes men that were thrown together, I think he'll be all right.
Yeah. Let's go to the Rockets rank. That was a fun matchup. Rockets Warriors. Obviously, Warriors upsetting the 2-seed Rockets. I think this team has equally as big of questions to answer. I don't know. What are you guys thinking?
This is it. This is going to be the year the Rockets bring in a star. I'm talking KD. I'm talking Giannis. It's time to get rid of Jalen Green. That ship has sailed. You do not need him to be part of your core. You have everybody else. Go out, get a superstar, and compete in the West. This is the time.
The Rockets remind me, they're at a crossroads in my mind. They have two options. They can go on and be the 2024-2025 Oklahoma City Thunder, or they can go on and be the Clippers and trade those young players for those stars. I think there's some way in the middle because I don't think they have the Shea Gilgeous-Alexander the Thunder have. They don't have that young player. Jalen Green's not him, not the potential, not getting there. But I think you got to combine the right amount of young players to go get the Kevin Durant. Like Kevin Durant coming to Houston Rockets with these guys around him could be really effective. You just need to make the right decision of who you're giving up. And it's a tough decision. It's not an easy one. But they need to figure out who meshes the best together and who can mesh the best around this star and keep those guys.
Well, so who is the star on this team? I remember many times during the series, even the broadcast were saying who is taking this last shot, and sometimes it was Sengun, sometimes it was Jalen Green, sometimes it was Fred VanVleet. So this team has an identity problem, and I don't know how you fix that. Do you bring in Durant like you're saying, or no?
I think you need a 1A. You need a guy that can take over, that you can trust in clutch moments. I'm sorry. Cam Whitmore has barely played since he's gotten there. He can go. Where does he fit on the timeline with Amen Thompson above him? Dylan Brooks was shown to be effective. He'll play above Cam Whitmore. Other guys, Tari Eason, could easily be swapped. Reed Shepherd didn't play at all.
Yeah,
these are young guys.
He's a really interesting piece there.
These are guys that could easily be thrown in to go land a big name player that could push them into championship contention.
Like, what if you call up the Suns and you offer them Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, and their first round picks back, and you're looking at a roster next year with VanVleet, Brooks, Amen Thompson, Kevin Durant, and Sengun as a starting five. That team is a top 4 team in the Western Conference Finals for the regular season and competitive in the playoffs.
100%.
Rank, who are your untouchables in a Durant trade?
I think Amen Thompson is probably the only one.
Thompson, maybe Sengun.
Depends
okay. if you get Giannis, you drive Sengun to the airport. Thank you very much.
I don't want them to do a KD and Giannis trade. I don't want both of them.
I don't know if you have the assets to get both.
No. You would have KD and Giannis playing with each other, and that would be it.
They absolutely have the assets to bring in KD and Giannis together if they wanted to, but I think it'd be a huge mistake to do so.
Agreed.
You got to get off this Fred VanVleet. I can't even believe this number, $43 million a year.
How long is that contract? I mean, you're not getting off that. That's the thing.
Let's see how long
Can't
it
get
is.
off. Who's taking that on?
Send him to DC for something.
It's actually expiring next year. It's a nice little $45 million.
Then you could trade it.
Is that a team option? That can't be right.
So that's perfect.
I'd be
You
shocked.
can trade it for KD right now then.
Yeah, it's expiring contract. The Suns might take that. Matches contracts up
Somebody
pretty
might
well.
take that.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It
They're
is a
gonna
team
have-
option. How often do you see that for
After
a veteran
that-
player?
They're paying Dylan Brooks as their next highest. They're going to be in a scary situation. They're going to be good, man. Rockets have a lot of moves they could make.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement here that bright future, but this is not a team where you run it back.
I wouldn't be opposed to them running it back, but I do think they need at some point, either before the season or the trade deadline, need to get a star player. Like these guys are still young, so they're still going to develop. They're going to be fine. But I think they're going to miss their window if they don't make the move soon enough.
I think Rank hit the nail on the head there. This team, they're not getting 52 wins again next season. I can guarantee you that. They cannot pull a Sacramento Kings and run it back.
Fair.
Go out,
Good
splash,
shout.
make a championship winning move. You got to do something.
Good shout. Let's flip it to the East, and let's start with a team that I'm going to let you guys go first because I can't even think of how to improve this team. Let's go with the Miami Heat.
If you're the Heat, do you try to complete the Dame trade you never could do a couple years ago,
No.
and just say F it and then
Unless you want to sell tickets.
Yeah.
they're a 7th seed next year with a Dame, Hero, and Bam.
I mean, you could. This is the lowest
What can you
price
get back for Hero?
Dame's ever been at. So you thinking of flipping Hero?
Yeah, what can you get? I think it's time. The East Pacers are better than them. Pistons are better than Knicks are better than them. Cavs, Celtics, Bucks. As of right now,
I don't understand what they did when they did the Jimmy trade and they got Wiggins and Kyle Anderson and all them, and just making it seem like they wanted to compete still. And now it's like, well, these are even harder contracts I have to get off of. I have to get off of Andrew Wiggins' contract and Terry Rozier's contract and all that. Like, there's a lot of hurdles here. I mean, Tyler Hero is only 25. Jaime Hawkins is still there. You can see if Nikola Jovic turns into something. And it won't be easy.
There's this Giannis thing hanging over the entire NBA,
Yeah.
and the Heat are going to be a team competing for the Giannis trade.
And they
They have the
thing is-
contract money-wise to do it.
if they do it, their roster is going to be in shambles and they won't be able to compete. It's going to be Giannis and Bam sitting there twiddling their thumbs with nobody else to score the ball.
It's fair.
I think the Heat have to blow it up. I hate to say it. I think it's time.
I think you could get a good amount back for Tyler Hero. He's
100%.
20. He's 25.
You get a ton back for Bam. I will tell you that.
Yeah. A
Bam
lot,
to
a
the
lot of
Lakers.
teams could use Bam to the Lakers. Great shout. I'll give you Dalton Connect and a second-round pick. Thank you.
You could have a pair of sweaty socks too. Gabe Vincent reunion. Thank you.
Anything else in the Heat?
Do you think Spo gets fired? And if they're going to do this rebuild,
No.
do you fire Spoelstra and rebuild, new head coach, new identity, new everything?
No. You a coach like Spo does not. That's a once in a lifetime coach.
Yeah, but
Spo's
Pat
been
Riley's
through,
the
like-
big, you be there for a couple years, you move on. That's what Pat Riley's always done.
Spo's been through like 5 rebuilds and come out the other side every time.
Rankle. I think there's a lot of teams with coaches that we thought weren't going to go anywhere, but maybe you're right. Maybe they do can him.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. better teams in the East. Actually, maybe not better. The Milwaukee Bucks will be a fun conversation.
We've been kind of dancing around it the whole time.
Like
Dame's out for next season, right? He's torn the
Yeah.
Achilles, done for next year.
I think so. I mean, let's call a spade. Outside of Giannis, this roster is terrible. They're just they don't have any pieces. Kyle Kuzma's a bum.
What a flop that was.
I
Trading
still can't
franchise
believe they did
legend.
that to K-Mid, man. How do you do that to K-Mid?
I think the worst part about it is when they got Middleton on the Wizards. Like they came out and said they weren't going to buy him out because they wanted him to mentor the players.
It was-
Bro couldn't even get bought out for a playoff team. So sad.
What do you think they get for Giannis? Or what's the best team? What's the best scenario they get out of this Giannis trade? Because Giannis is getting traded this offseason. I'd be shocked if we saw the Bucks next season.
The best haul they could get back would be from the Thunder, and it would be 8 picks. But the Thunder don't need to do that, and they shouldn't do that. I don't know what
Or
other
the
teams
Spurs.
could really offer. Yeah, Spurs. That would be
Spurs.
crazy.
Let's
Some
see
are
what they
saying the
got.
Mavericks are going to trade the first overall pick for him.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Kyrie,
they
AD, and Giannis.
trade
Whoa.
no, they trade AD and Kyrie for Giannis with the first pick. Kyrie doesn't really play defense, so yeah.
Okay, Rank. You're the Bucks. I'm knocking on your door right now. I'm offering you Stephon Castle. I'll give you Devin Vassell and Mr. Chris Paul.
What about
I need the second overall pick.
Okay, and the second overall
you
pick.
need something more than that for Giannis. Come on.
Vassell, Castle, second
Okay,
overall
Castle's
pick.
going to be a good player. Vassell could be a
He's a
good
good
player.
player.
And I'll give you the
Yeah.
second pick, and I'll give you another first. And I'll throw
That I
in
would
Chris
take.
Paul to make the contracts work.
2 first rounds, Vassell and Castle.
I
I
would.
think that's highway robbery.
You
My-
sign like eight shooters on the minimum around Fox, Wemby, and Giannis. You got a scary team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's terrifying. Nobody's scoring in the paint ever.
What would the? I mean, this is kind of a. There's no end to this question, but what would the Bucks have to do to keep Giannis like happy and keep him to stay?
Somebody
Is
gives Dame new legs, and they somehow are decent next year. Brook Lopez visits the Fountain of Youth.
I think
don't know.
they'd have to be paying him under the table. He's got to
Dude,
get
Brook
paid more
Lopez
money.
is 37 years old. Holy shit! Oh my god.
Why would Giannis want to stay in Milwaukee? There's no reason. They're not
There's
competing
no
next
reason.
year. Dame's getting older. They have nobody around him. Like he is, if he
That
just wants to
front
get paid
office-
and like
That front
No
office
reason.
really sold him.
I don't
Really
understand why
so.
teams do that, man. Just blow up a championship team for the fuck of it. They get greedy. It's the definition of greed right there.
all right. Pistons. Another fun young team. Liam, you want to start us off? I know you like the Pistons.
Yes. Unlike John Morant, I think Cade Cunningham could be the best player on the championship team. Alias, looking at the Pacers, looking at the Thunder type of squad. But they need more pieces that can actually like play. Tim Hardaway Jr., he had a great season. I'll give him that. He's not doing that again. Malik Beasley, no shot in hell he's having the season he had again. No way.
No faith in
but
the
there are
umps
guys-
on that team.
Tobias Harris, no way in hell he's having that season again. You saw glimpses of what Cade can do with the guys like Asar Thompson. Duran was fantastic.
Still got
They
Ivy.
need, yeah. Ivy's coming back next year. People forget Ivy was 20 points a game this season. Smooth 20. They're gonna be solid. They gotta keep filling up this young core.
Yeah,
I like
those
where
were the
they're
4 guys. Those 4 guys,
Yeah.
Cade, Asar, Durant, and Ivy, are the guys you got to build around. And you need to find role players and young players in this draft who can like fill those spots in between. But I think unlike the Rockets, they don't have to go and get a star. They can keep
No.
running it back like this and get better and better. They're probably next year with the Celtics probably falling out, are a top 4 team in the Eastern Conference potentially.
Yeah, I think so. Cade has shown he can be that dude. And let's be honest. That Knicks series, they should have won that series. They were the better team there. They were the better team.
Better team's debatable. They were more physical.
I think they played better. Say that. A couple calls didn't go their way.
I think out of all the teams that we've discussed so far, like Pistons should be, out of all of them, they should have a smile on their face coming out of the series. 100%.
Absolutely.
I would say the same thing for the next team, Orlando Magic. I think you could have a smile on your face as well. Very similar situation.
Less competitive in the playoffs, but
Yeah.
I think they're in a worse situation because I don't think Banchero or Franz are as good as Cade will become, especially the positions they play. The Pistons are set up in a better spot because they have their franchise point guard that can run that team.
Yes.
I think you got to give Paolo a couple more years. I mean, Cade is like 4 years in the league at this point. Like Paolo, give him.
Paolo's 22. Franz is 23. But the problem with their team right now is they don't have a reliable point guard.
No, they don't.
That's what
they have so many point guards, and none of them are reliable.
They've been trying for years to get a point guard.
In the Celtics series, that was their downfall. They had to have Paolo initiate the offense, and come on.
Okay, crazy idea. This is not a splashy move. Could you squeeze one more good year out of Chris Paul on a very small contract?
That's not a bad idea, honestly.
Not terrible.
That's not a terrible idea.
I think Paolo and Franz would have very good years with a good point guard.
More accurately, Truitt, I think would be a fun combination here is if, I don't know the contract, or if they can get Nembhard from the Pacers, because he seems like the next Brunson type of guy, like
good
a
luck
young
with
backup
that,
point guard.
Yeah. Pacers aren't letting him go at all. No.
Yeah,
way.
but they're not gonna be able to pay everybody. It's Indiana. Like they're gonna have to pay Halliburton. Like,
I mean, the thing.
Free agency.
My thinking with Chris Paul is like also with all the point guards, Cole Anthony Black, Jalen Suggs. Can Chris Paul elevate any of them into being a competent starter, the worst starter on a good team?
I hope he could elevate like a KCP, because I thought that was going to be a great signing for them, and he was awful. He was absolutely horrendous for them.
No, that was bad. I like the Nembhard idea, Rank. If I'm going to pay anyone on Indiana, I'm going to let Nesmith go first.
Fair, but he's not a point guard. I assume Nembhard is going to want to run his own team like Jalen did. Got out of Dallas.
Well, you're really high on Nembhard. I mean, I think you're right, but he's a good player. And we'll get into that at some point. Do you want to go back to the West or stay in the East?
We can go back West.
Okay, Warriors and Nuggets, Rank.
Warriors, why not?
That's a fun one.
I think they're in the same situation as the Clippers. I think you run this team back with Steph, Jimmy, and Dre, and you probably got to get the role players a little better. Like, Buddy was inconsistent at best. Maybe you can get some better role players in there want to play with Steph down this end of his career. But I don't think you can rebuild this team at this point in Steph Curry's career. You just have to run it back like how it is.
It's for the love of God, get a center, please.
Yeah.
Please. I don't want to see Quentin Post anymore, man. I don't want to Trace Jackson Davis. These guys are bums. Please get a center. Somebody that can set some screens, man.
What do you do?
Potts has to go too. I'm sorry. Potts is butt. Pazensky is butt. Trade him for somebody.
There's so many interesting players. Like, there's so many reports coming about Kuminga. Is he unhappy? Is he happy? He was out of the rotation at one point and then had really good minutes for them in the playoffs. Like, I don't know what you do with Moses Moody. Liam brought up Pods.
Kevon Looney's the oldest 29-year-old ever.
I want to put like an NA on this, because we were just robbed of a good series with Curry going out. Like, who knows what could have happened? It could have been Thunder Warriors, and then
I mean, you guys.
Thunder
beat
would
them
have,
before.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys whoop them. Like, that's not even close.
I have bad memories of Curry against the Thunder. Anything could have happened.
That was literally a decade ago. But
I think the dream is they run it back and bring them a nice, fun, old man basketball Clippers Warriors 4-5 matchup next year.
ooh, I love that rank.
Honestly, crazy. Okay, wait, crazy scenario. The Warriors call back up the Heat. Hey, you fucked up with the Jimmy trade. Like, you got Wiggins. Like, how's it gonna help you? How about you give us Bam, and we'll help you out and give you the young players that you should have had. You want Moses Moody? You want Kuminga? Just give us Bam. The Golden State Heat, baby.
Pat Riley hangs up the phone and immediately shoots himself. Right.
Dude, but that'd be a good team. Curry, Jimmy, and Bam, and then
Right?
2 wings.
All right.
What, is that just unrealistic, or is that a bad team?
Little bit.
Yeah. Unrealistic.
Take Pods, Kuminga, Moody, take Trace Jackson Davis, take Kevin Knox, take Gary Payton II.
You can't just give him a pile of steaming shit for Bam Adebayo.
Exactly. It's not quantity. It's not
I don't
quantity
know,
or quality thing.
All those guys are like under 25. One of them will pan out.
You can have Kevin Knox too. We'll throw him in.
Yeah, that's fair. Damn, he's only 25 years old. That's
You guys remember we
crazy.
had a Fortnite on draft night. The Fortnite.
Goat, dude. Goat, man. That's my goat.
Shit's embarrassing. All
All
right.
right. Denver Nuggets.
Oh,
Really interesting one.
yeah. True. You want to you got anything for this one?
There's a lot of ways to think about it. Aaron Gordon, I think, is untouchable. That guy is awesome. That's Mr. Nugget there. Obviously, you got Jokic. I don't think Jamal Murray is untouchable. MPJ's got to go because when he can't shoot, he is just absolutely useless. And then outside of that, I like Christian Brown, but the rest of this roster is really bad. Like, you can hope and pray Julian Strother turns into
Russ?
somebody. Oh,
Is Russ really
Yeah.
bad? Is that what you just said?
That's what I wanted to get at, Truett.
I think I just heard that Trude called Russ really bad.
guys, I didn't scroll all the way. He's a W, so he was at the bottom. Russ was the MVP of the series versus the Clippers. One of the
He
MVPs.
was also the Thunder's best player by far in that series.
Hey, people forget he made the game-winning pass to Aaron Gordon for the game winner, game 1.
He also got a really big jump ball, guys.
Shout out Rank for that. Rank knows ball. But you got to get rid of Michael Porter Jr. I think it's step 1.
Okay, you said Jamal Murray was untouchable,
No, I did not say he was untouchable.
or he wasn't untouchable. Why?
Yes.
How? What do you get? What could you get for him that makes it worthy?
I think the argument against trading him is I don't know if I'd get enough back to warrant it. Because Jamal and Jokic play so well together.
He might be the biggest playoff riser,
Yeah.
period. I don't think you let him go ever.
Yeah,
It's
maybe it
not
was just
so
a
much
bad
your
matchup.
argument, Trude, about how mad you were that they traded Chris Middleton and destroyed a championship team. Like, this Nuggets, that starting lineup, like, yes, I agree MPJ can go if you can get anything for him, but Jamal Murray needs to stay.
Yes,
I guess,
I agree.
Rank, I'm sorry. I always forget how good of a defender Caruso and Dort are. You know, he had a bad series, but like anyone would have had a bad series. You're right. I should go easier on Jamal Murray. You're right.
Caruso's locking up Jokic in Game 7 like it was nothing.
Yeah,
Facts. What would you guys do for this roster?
I need to see a Peyton Watson leap next year. Him and Brown, I feel like they could be good, but Russ has to go. MPJ has to go.
Bro, why does everyone say Russ has to go? The guy's making $3 million a year.
He was
Everyone's blaming it on a 36-year-old guy in the middle.
He was. Let's be honest. If Strother had all his minutes, it probably doesn't end up as bad for the Nuggets. You know, I'm going to be quite honest.
Bro,
I love
Strother did have minutes. Strother and Russ are like the only guys that came off the bench.
Hey, what about Payne Watson?
Yeah, I guess so. You know what? I want to take this opportunity because we're a part of the media. We got to hold each other accountable here. Ramona Shelburne, you suck. You're actually awful. That article, do you guys know what article I'm talking about?
No.
Yeah.
Like an article during the Thunder Nuggets series, like she wrote it, and she was basically just saying how like
Just drop the hit piece on Russ.
essentially just saying like that he was like their big X factor, and that like they rose and fell with him, and basically just saying he's like out of control, and like, I mean,
Okay.
to say that about someone, like I said, that's playing on a minimum contract, who's like eighth in minutes on the team, is just like taking a shot. It's a stray. It's a complete stray.
Yeah. In Russ's defense, they didn't have anybody else that they could have put in.
Yeah. If there was someone better that would take those minutes, they would have done it. In his defense.
Yeah, they also Nuggets need a backup big.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, you need to save Jokic. Christ Almighty.
Is there a center problem in the league nowadays? I feel like we've said this multiple times, saying how centers are needed.
Rick, I want to dive into this. I want to dive into it now. The traditional big is back. It's necessary in today's NBA. You need a traditional big to be able to compete. Because if other teams have one and you don't, you're fucked. You are fucked.
Well, I don't think there's any good centers coming out of the draft this year, Liam. So there's going to be a lot of teams looking for these guys who are not going to be able to get anything. Because the only guy I know of is the guy from Duke.
I'll tell you
can't
this.
Think of
There is one team in the West that's sitting on, I wouldn't call it a gold mine, but they have two centers that.
You better not be talking about my team. You better be talking about the Rockets or somebody else.
I'm not talking about the Rockets. I'm not talking about the Thunder. There's one team that's been shown to do silly trades that could give up one of those centers. And I would be shocked if Daniel Gafford or Derek Lively, one of them isn't moved this summer.
Fair.
I'd be shocked.
That'd be a smart move by them.
Yeah, it would be smart.
That'd be a great
probably won't do it. But
okay, I just need to read this. I just need to read the title of the article, and then I promise I'll stop. Wrote an article, why the Nuggets title hopes might hinge on the most volatile player in the NBA. I mean, what a stray, dude. What can you realistically expect out of a 36-year-old? All right, I'm done.
You know what I will say in Russ's defense, Truett? I loved his energy, and I loved his leadership and trying to like mentor the guys and coach them up when they didn't have a coach. The dude, he would die out on that court. But man, sometimes he just doesn't have it, and that's okay.
He's got to just become like a Udonis Haslem, just like don't play, but be there.
I have been waiting for this team for about 3 weeks since it's happened to hear what Truett has to say about this scary, 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 scary team. Truett, how about those Cavs? How about those Cavs?
Rank.
You lucked out that Tatum got injured because otherwise it would even be worse.
Let's be honest, Rank. The series was over before.
Yeah,
Tatum
fair.
got
Whatever. Get back to the Cavs.
I was wrong, Rank. I was wrong, but also like I just did not anticipate this offense, specifically Donovan Mitchell's contributions to the offense, just falling off a cliff. I mean, horrible games.
Like I didn't think he had a bad playoffs. I think the team sucked. The team played flat. Max Strus was ass. Ty Jerome was butt. Garland was hurt. Perfect storm for them on shit to go wrong. I'll tell you this though. That core, they are not a championship core. Not at all. Donovan Mitchell does not get enough shit for never making it past the second round.
You want to talk about Jamal Murray being a playoff riser? Evan Mobley might be the biggest playoff loser I've ever watched in the NBA. guy consistently performs his worst basketball in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in on Donovan Mitchell just for a little bit, for a brief second, because we're not gonna look at the points. Like, yeah, he had a 48-point game. I want to look at his shooting: 13 of 30, 15 of 30, 14 of 29, 3 of 11, 8 of 25. I also want to look at. I don't want to hear anyone talk about Shea being a free throw merchant if his name is also not next to Donovan Mitchell. 17 of 21 free throws, 10 of 14, 15 of 21. That's all in that series.
You can't have success with one guy taking that many shots. Not in today's NBA. That has been proven this playoffs.
I would argue that Garland also a little bit of a playoff faller.
They all are.
To be fair, he was hurt. He's obviously playing through injury.
Yeah, he was. He only played
being
3 of the
said-
games.
Yeah, that being said, their role players suck. Strus said before, what was it, game 5, don't show up to the arena if you don't want to come with that energy, if you don't believe we can come back. Proceeds to go 0 of 9 from the field. Love that, man. That's you know what? You can leave DePaul, but it never leaves you.
Oh my god. I think another thing that the Cavs ran into is they had a good defense, obviously, they have that front court, but the Pacers are just an insane offense, and they just couldn't keep up. They just could not keep up by any means. And also, you have a great front court, but if my point of attack defenders are Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, okay, I don't give a fuck if Jared Allen's waiting for me in the paint. I'm just going to throw it to the 3-point line, where I have 8 people on my roster that are probably shooting above 40% from 3 if I'm the Pacers.
The Cavs are not a playoff team. They need to would you trade Donovan Mitchell?
Mm-hmm. He's shown it time and time again. He hasn't made it past the second round. He is Joel Embiid reincarnated.
Put them together.
God.
Donovan Mitchell.
Put them together.
I love it. Dude, they wouldn't make it past the second week of the season.
Tom would love it.
Frank, I was wrong. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I have to admit when I was wrong. I gave you so much. I tried to instill so much fear into you throughout the season, and I was wrong.
So, yeah. I appreciate the apology. It's really happy. I guess my team's next. The Boston Celtics.
Okay. Couple things for them. One, they need to find a cure for AIDS for Kristaps Porzingis.
He actually had AIDS, dude.
He has AIDS. He has AIDS.
Sorry.
Number 2, somebody needs to donate Jason Tatum a new leg. That shit was awful. I'm not a Tatum fan. Through and through, never been a fan of his play, but man, that shit was sad. That was really sad. Rank, what happens next season?
I at this point in my Celtics fandom, I have complete faith in Brad Stevens. Whatever Brad Stevens decides he's going to do, I will 100% get on board with. Tatum's not going to touch the court next year. I think you trade Porzingis and you trade Drew Holiday and you run it back with a combination of Derek White and Jaylen Brown. I think when we're talking about untouchables, to be honest, Derek White's the only real untouchable on this roster.
Yeah.
I'd be sad if they traded Jaylen Brown, but I wouldn't be outraged because I think they'd obviously get a good return for him. Derek White, I'd be really, really sad if they got rid of him. Derek White's the only untouchable on this team, in my opinion.
Frank, there have been a lot of reports that this team will be very different next year.
Mm-hmm. There have been.
There was reports of that before the injury even happened.
Yeah,
that's
true.
It seems like Al Horford's coming back. I think Derek White's going to be there, but I do think Drew Holiday and Porzingis are probably gone. If you can get some good value for Porzingis, I think do it because I'm not sure if he ever steps on the court again.
Yeah.
What is the thesis with Drew Holiday?
He's gotten old. He aged a lot this year. He's lost his step, lost his hustle. What made him so great?
Yeah. Hey, he did his
He was
job.
also-
He got that chip last year.
Yeah.
For you.
He was going through injury too the last month, 2 months of the season.
But he's 37, 36. Like,
He's 34. That's an old 34-year-old.
yeah. He's that young?
Yeah. Speaking of old, Al Horford, it's time to hang him up, buddy. It's time to let it go. You had a great career. Sorry, man. It's over.
Rank, I think what Brad Stevens should do is look at like you guys last year and probably this year had the best, by far, the best top 7 players of any roster in the league. Like 1 through 7 doesn't even come close. But I think you should retool and work on getting the best 1 through 10. Right? See if you're gonna flip Drew Holiday or Porzingis or Jaylen Brown, flip them into like 2 pieces each or
Yeah.
something like that.
I agree. It's some draft picks. I think
Yeah.
Brad Stevens has done a good job of drafting these young guys. Hauser, Pritchard, Baylor Shireman's played well in limited minutes. I think there's guys in this team who could step up for next season. So I agree with you, Drew, that they should flip these guys for 2 players rather than trying to get a star to come back in here.
I like the call on draft picks because this roster outside of Brown and Tatum is sneaky old.
Old. It's very old.
It can be a blessing in disguise. I know people are saying that, but it could be a good reset for this team.
I cannot wait for Jordan Walsh to get more minutes next year. That's all I'm
I
saying.
really hope not.
You're going to need guys on rookie contracts because ooh.
How about a Peyton Pritchard starter? Peyton Pritchard starting.
Definitely
You know?
possible.
What
Easy.
if 2 years from now, when Tatum's back, you got a little Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, Tatum, and then whatever depth you got back from trading away the other guys?
We need another star there, but yeah, we could.
I'll give you Luke Cornett for Cooper Flag. How about that?
Deal.
Defense. Love it.
All right. These 2 teams next. I like to preface something that's really been really annoying me, and we're going to get into discuss these 2 teams. I do not like the NBA narratives these days that for some reason, no matter when you lose, no matter what series you lose in, you face lots of criticism for the way you lost. These 2 teams made the Western Conference Finals. Those are both successful seasons for both these teams. Yes, they both lost in different ways, and they probably have things to improve on, but they should both be considered successful seasons for both these teams.
I agree, Rank. I feel like people just don't act like the Knicks Celtics series didn't even happen.
Exactly.
Like that was some of the most impressive basketball I've seen in a long
That
time.
was the culmination of the Knicks roster. They built their team to beat the Celtics, and they did exactly that. They played them so well. Now, that being said, I think they need to make some changes this offseason, and I think it starts with their head coach. I think they got to get rid of Tibbs.
Wow.
I really
Really?
think they do. Tibbs has shown every single job he's been at, he runs his players into the ground. That is not the modern NBA. The modern NBA, it's a team game. You need 8 to 10 guys that can play. You can't be playing your dudes 40 minutes a night. We saw Mitchell Robinson having a goddamn heart attack on the court against the Pacers. And I know they didn't have big men. Cat was in foul trouble. He picks up 3 fouls before the whistle even blows. But man, we saw DeLon Wright and Landry Shamet got like decent spot minutes in the playoffs. They didn't play at all during the regular season. It's ridiculous to play these guys 40 minutes a night, game in and game out. And that's not the modern NBA. You need a new coach in New York.
Are you afraid you might lose that Knicks defensive identity with getting
They
rid of?
have Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, OG. If they lose that identity because of Tibbs, man, there's a deeper issue at hand.
I think the whole Tibbs plays this guys too much is a little out of proportion when it comes to regular season. You look at minutes wise compared to other teams in the NBA, he's playing his wings considerably on average to other teams' wings. Like if Kevin Durant's on the court, Mikal Bridges is going to be on the court to guard him. Like that's just how it's going to work. You're not going to put your Deuce McBride in it. Like it's not how any team would run their offense. I think Tibbs should come back. I agree that they need depth pieces, and I think that's part of the offense. Like, come on, Landry Shamet and DeLon Wright should not be playing minutes in an Eastern Conference Finals. That should never be happening. Like, regardless of they didn't play in the regular season, they should not be playing now. They need better depth players.
Yeah,
You can't play 6 guys in a series and expect to win.
to Rent's point,
It's never going to happen.
I think it's a big deal for Tibbs that he played DeLon Wright and Landry Shamet when they shouldn't have even been playing. Like, that shows some serious growth.
Brunson
But
had 5 fouls in the third quarter.
They need to rebuild the depth they lost last offseason when they traded for Mikal Bridges and Karl-Anthony Towns.
Tibbs has shown it. He's never shown to be depth-oriented, to be team-oriented, to play an 8-10-man rotation. It's always his 6 guys, and he runs them into the ground. It's only a matter of time, man. We saw it happen last year. Everybody got hurt.
all right, coach aside, how are we going to fix this roster?
You need another big man next to Cat, next to Mitch. You need another one. Cat's not a big man. He's a forward. He can't guard the paint. He can't really play defense. He's got to be the 4 at all times when he's on the court, in my opinion.
Are you bumping OG or Mikal to the 2 and then Hart off the bench?
Hart off the bench is the better way. I think Hart is great off the bench.
Hart, McBride off the bench. That's a good bench backcourt. Is Precious Achiuwa playable? I feel like he just didn't get any minutes. He's done.
No, absolutely not.
All right, get him out of there. Yeah, you need some backup wings and a backup. I don't know what you want to do with Mitch, but
I think you keep Mitch. He showed, man, he was the Celtics' kryptonite, even though free throws aside.
This guy needs to spend his offseason not taking step back threes and just shoot free throws. Like, that is, I don't understand. You need to know what kind of player you are.
Threes.
Like, I'm not taking practice step back threes before intramural games. That's not what I'm going to do in the game.
Preach, Rank. Preach.
Right. You shoot your free throws at the end of every session. You're right.
Yes, sir.
Made 2 in a row in Boston.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, I agree. I think they need a backup center and some wing depth because I think Tibbs will play the guys if he has the guys to play.
I hope. He hasn't shown it ever, though.
Fun fact about this Knicks Pacers series. A trivia question, actually, real quick.
Mm.
Do you know who the last player to score a bucket on NBA on TNT was?
Oh,
shit. Wait. Was it Ariel Hukporte?
No.
Who the hell is that?
He's the third stringer center for the Knicks.
Was it Tyler Kolek?
Nope.
PJ Tucker?
Nope.
Kevin McCullough Jr.
No, not this far down the roster.
Marjon Beauchamp.
No.
Was it a Pacer?
No, it was Nick.
Pacome Dadiet.
No.
Campaign.
No.
DeLon
You're getting
Wright.
closer, though. No.
Anton Watson.
No, you were close.
Anton Watson's close?
No. DeLon Wright was close.
Oh.
You said
Landry
Landry Shamet.
Oh, gross.
Last guy to score on NBA on TNT.
That was sad, dude. That was really sad.
That is sad.
I don't know how I'm gonna feel when that show's on ESPN now. It's just gonna be different.
Suck.
It's gonna be so different. ESPN blows.
One last thing about the Knicks, though. It's awesome that Brunson took that pay cut, but they sneaky do have a lot of big contracts. Like many dudes making over $20 million. So OG's on 36, Cat's on 50, Mikal at 23, Brunson at 24, Hart at 18. It's just sneaky. It might be a problem at one point.
I agree. That's what they need to go in for it now. Get a couple of role players.
There's
the history.
50 is fucking nuts, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah,
There's the last 4 years, the losers of the Eastern Conference Finals won the Eastern Conference Finals next year.
That's true.
Shout out.
Let's see if history repeats itself. Western Conference Final side, T-Wolves lost in basically a gentleman's sweep. They won one blowout, but that was it. Not really competitive, but I think Ant Edwards is once again shows in these playoffs that he's a star. He's a star in the NBA. It's just, can they get the right pieces around him to get them over this next step?
I'm gonna do it again because I just hate the man. Rudy Gobert shouldn't be in the NBA. He's awful. It shows every single playoffs. It shows that he's just unplayable if the other team's competent. Yeah, he did great against the Lakers and the Warriors because they don't have a fucking center on the roster. Of course he's going to do well. He's the only dude over 7 feet on the court. He's awful. It is stunting. They are doing detriment to Ant by having Rudy Gobert on the roster. How can you have a center that can't catch on your team? The dude is 7'4" and can't catch.
He's looking like Bayake out there.
Yeah, it's like Big Enoch. Yeah.
I will say,
fucking hate
just watching the series, Ant was great. We saw that. And there's a lot of other good pieces on this team that I think that they should bring back. Shadow McDaniels, offensively, not great, but defense, a lot of good depth on this team. But I think it was really interesting with Ant and Julius Randle because game one, Julius Randle did really well. He had a really good playoff series or playoffs up until then. Ant didn't shoot the ball enough. And then after that game one, Julius Randle pretty much never had a good game again. I don't know what you do with these two because it's just they did really well when both of them did really well. And before I flip it back to you guys, I do want to say, just having watched the games, I was pleasantly surprised when the game that we really I think it was game 4 that we beat them, the closest game it was. I didn't like that Ant. I mean, I liked it as a Thunder fan, but with a minute left, Ant giving the ball to Jaden McDaniels to initiate offense. You're that guy, bro. If you want to be the face of this league, props to Ant. He's a great player, but that's your shot. Don't go give it to Jaden McDaniels. Be go do something. And that was the play where he got blocked by Chet. And I'm that's what you get. That's what you get for giving it to him.
I back to Liam's original point. I just looked it up. Rudy Gobert is under contract through the 27-2028 season. There's 3 more years of Rudy.
You got to get off that.
You need to get off it. And I think
you have to get off that.
You need Rudy out. Naz Reid's your starting center. Julius Randle can stay. Julius Randle, Naz Reid, McDaniels, and a good point guard. You need something better than Mike Conley. Mike Conley's getting up there in age. He's been there around for a while. If you can get a solid point guard in there, this team's more competitive. But the Naz Reid over Rudy Gobert needs to happen.
Yeah, I still think when you get rid of Rudy, you do need more rim protection because Rudy protected the rim. That's all he did. I would love for them to go out and get Tyus Jones running the point guard, initiating the offense. I think that would be great. Somebody like that.
John Morant to the Grizzlies?
Absolutely not. You do not let him. If you're Minnesota, you don't let him anywhere near Ant.
John Morant mentoring Ant. Oh boy.
Great 1-2 punch up there.
Okay. Question for you guys. Could Randall be the number 2 on a championship winning team?
No. He's a 3.
I'm going to frame it like this for you, Rank. Could his ceiling be Siakam-esque?
No. He's too ball dominant to be Siakam-esque. Siakam is really good off the ball. He can do those things. Julius Randle's not. He was really good when he's ball dominant with the Knicks, and they didn't go that far.
Just to defend him a little bit, his shooting, his shot selection came back down to earth, but there was a lot of times he made a lot of really good passes. I feel his ball IQ since the Knicks, since his days in the Pelicans, Lakers, better.
Yeah, definitely better. 100%. I still think he's a 3.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there.
I'm curious, do you think Jaden McDaniels can take a next step offensively? I think that's the big thing. Can he get better offensively to really give this guy somebody else?
He could, but he's not going to get touches with Ant, Randall, Naz Reid. Those guys get the ball. Dante. Those guys get the shots.
Dante needs more minutes. I think he played well in the playoffs, but he didn't play much during the season. Obviously, he's
played shit against the Thunder.
A good bench guy, but
Liam, I'm looking at like the box scores. Very inconsistent, like the amount of shots he got. Like there's games where he got 13, 14 shots, and then games where he got 5 shots and like 6.
Dante or McDaniels?
McDaniels.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Especially when they move off of Gobert and get somebody competent. Or
Dude,
get
but
nobody.
Who is taking Gobert?
At this point, I'd give him to the Hornets and say,
Yeah.
we'll pay half the salary. You guys take it.
I don't think you can do the half the salary thing in the NBA, but you can give them a bunch of draft picks.
Yeah.
Attach every draft pick that they
for the next
that they
3
have
years.
left. Yeah, literally.
You gotta. I guess they gave a lot in the. Didn't they give away 5 draft picks to get Rudy? Was that the number?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh my god.
Shout out that guy Terrence Shannon. He could ball. That kid can ball.
Yeah, I'm starting to think this Giannis to the Spurs trade you were throwing earlier, True, is not accurate. If we were talking about 2 picks there, and
Yeah.
Rudy went for 5. Mikal Bridges went for 5.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, but welcome back, everybody. Fun in the locker room. That was perfect timing because I guess we get to go into the finals preview now. I don't want to be the one to introduce this, so somebody else do it. It feels wrong for me.
All right, why not? I'll kick it off. Thursday night in Oklahoma City, Game 1 of the 2025 NBA Finals.
Just
The
getting this little
Indianapolis
jersey on.
Pacers coming in to face this red-hot Oklahoma City Thunder team, who are heavy favorites to take down the Pacers and win their first ever NBA championship. And Trude is now rocking the jersey that he thought he was going to burn a couple weeks ago, but is now still rocking because he played well in Game 7. But yeah, it should be a fun series. Some people are calling the Pacers the AAA version of the Thunder, so it might be a little bit of a blowout.
I think that's where we should start. I don't think this is going to be close. I mean, I don't think this is going to be as much of a blowout as people think. Like everyone's saying 4 games, 5 games. I don't think they've been watching this Pacers series. I also think the people that are saying like this is going to be a boring finals is like, I don't think this is going to be boring. This is really the best defense versus the best offense in the league, and that's never been boring when it happens.
I'm so excited for this finals. This is going to be the most pure hoops, team-oriented basketball we're going to see. I want to lead this off. We know what Shea's going to do. Shea's going to do his thing. Who are the next best 5 players in this series in order? What would you guys say?
You got to go Tyrese.
Hallie 2. This is where it gets really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
J-Dub.
I would put Siakam above Dub.
Yes, Siakam. He was the Eastern Conference Finals MVP.
Yeah, I think it's matchup dependent of why he got Eastern Conference Finals. He's going against Cat.
But he's the argument I'll give him is he's been far more consistent, and
Every
we should get into that at
That's
some
fair.
point.
Yes.
Jalen
Every
Williams'
game,
inconsistency.
Siakam's been good to great. Hallie was amazing a couple games, but ass a couple games. But I think Siakam, man, he's the X factor. Okay, after that, so go Siakam Dub or Dub Siakam. You go Chet. Who's next? Chet Miles Turner. Hartenstein.
Oh, Rankle, slow your roll there, buddy.
I will say I've watched a lot more Pacers than I have watched the Western Conference Finals this playoffs because I've watched the Knicks and this Pacers team. I would put Nembhard up there. I would put Mathurin up there. Like, I'm really curious. Like, the Pacers fight over every single freaking screen, and they're going to disrupt Shea.
Interesting.
I mean, these are like you're saying that, Rank, like fighting over screens. Like these are very similar teams. They're 50-50 ball teams. They're hustle teams. But going back to what Liam said, I would like to throw a Chet in there.
Yeah.
That's just me. I think Chet consistently spaced the floor better. I think Chet is a better passer. I think Chet is a better defender. I think Miles Turner's a good player, but I think he plateaued very early in his career.
Okay. Obviously, backcourt, you can put Shea alongside anyone. They have a better backcourt. Front court, I'm leaning Pacers have a better front court. Siakam and Turner, I'd say, are scarier than Chet and Ihart, purely for the fact that Turner can space the floor and he can rim protect. Hartenstein can't space the floor.
Well, I agree with you, but for a different reason. I just think Siakam is far and away the best
Yeah,
player of those
I think
four. Like
that being, right there.
Siakam is leading the Pacers in points per game this postseason.
Okay, here we go. This is what I want to talk about. I am Rick Carlisle right now, right? I'm Rick Carlisle, most underrated coach in the NBA by a long shot. This is what I do if I'm him. Shea, go out there. You get your 40, man. I'm not letting Dub do a damn thing.
You think that's the way he does it?
Absolutely. I think that's how the Mavericks beat the Thunder last year. They let Shea get a shot, and they did not let anybody else do their thing.
I 100% agree with Liam. I
think
don't think people are talking enough about how the Thunder have the correlation between them winning and losing is extremely high with how Jalen Williams performs.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. And they have the pieces to slow down J-Dub. They have the bodies. Neesmith, Nembhard. They're going to throw everything at him. And I think that's their key to winning this series.
I mean, Rick, why do you think I said I was going to burn this? Jalen Williams had the most inconsistent series versus the Nuggets and had one of the best series he's ever played versus the T-Wolves. And why did one go to 7 and one was in 5?
Mhm.
If you're the Pacers, why are you not looking at this series defensively? Very similar to how you looked at the Knicks series. As in, you take away Jalen Brunson, and that's how the Knicks – that's how they won the series. They took away Jalen Brunson's ability to do anything.
Yeah,
they were constantly in his face, constantly hitting him, constantly doing things to him. I think if you do that to Shea and you take Shea out of the game, I want the ball in J-Dub's hand. I want the ball in Chet's hand. Like, I want to see them take on one of these scrappy point guards and get by them to a rim because they're not going to do that.
But the thing is, Shea is not Brunson. Shea is much better than Brunson.
Yes.
Much, much better. Shea's going to do his thing. You can't stop Shea. You can't stop him. Nobody's been able to stop him. Nobody will. I think that's it. You let Shea do his – Dub's not going to score 10. That's what you have to do for the
Greg, let me just another data point for you. Jalen Brunson is like 6 foot. Shea is 6'6".
I think it's dangerous to let the best player do his thing. You don't want the best player on the court to control the series. And regardless if you think you can stop the rest of them, letting Shea drop 45 to 50 a game is not the way this Pacers team's going to win the series.
Obviously, you have to get lucky for the Pacers. They're by far, what are they, plus 500? They're the underdog by a billion. But Shea's going to do his thing. He's going to get 33. Yeah. What is he, true? 31-point merchant?
Yeah. I can't find – I don't know how to find the stat rank, but at some point I'll find for you. I bet if you look at Thunder wins and losses in this postseason, Shea's stat lines are almost identical. And if you look at Thunder wins and losses and you look at J-Dub and you look at Chet and you look at Hartenstein, not really Hartenstein, it'll be a big difference.
That's every team. Every team needs their role players set up. Like the Pacers aren't winning this series unless somebody other than Halliburton scores baskets.
The counter argument there would be the Knicks Game 5 win. Halliburton had like 5 points. Not five,
the other role players stepped up.
No, but the Pacers lost that game.
Closely. Wait. What was the close one?
The last game the Knicks won.
Oh, the last one. Okay, sorry.
They shut down Hartenstein.
Yeah.
I mean, not Hartenstein, Halliburton. I'm sorry.
I get the point.
Halliburton, excuse me.
I feel like they're going to do everything they can to disrupt Shea, at least in game one, and they're going to go over those screens and they're going to make his life difficult. Obviously, he's taller than Brunson. Obviously, he's better than Brunson. Different player. But they have the players to do both. They have enough depth players that they can guard J-Dub and do this stuff to Halliburton. Sorry, and do this to Shea.
I don't think
Yeah,
they
they're
can.
both like drunk.
Sorry.
I think they're going to try and get Shea to just play ISO. That's what I think the Pacers are going to try and do. And I think, honestly, you just have to live with that. I think Shea's going to torch. I think that's the only way the Pacers have a chance of winning 4 out of these 7 games is by hoping and praying he has like 1 or 2 off nights, but you don't let anybody else get going.
Liam, you hit it on the head with the Mavs series last year.
Yeah.
Shea was the only one that showed up, and it's not enough to win.
Yeah, because they let Shea play one-on-one. They let him do his thing. He can have that mid-range shot every time. You're not going to spray it to the corner for an open 3. It's not going to happen. That's the only way Pacers can do this.
Liam, I want to take your question and switch it around a little bit. Take off Shea, Chet, and J-Dub. Take off Siakam, Halliburton, and we'll go with Miles Turner. Who has the better supporting cast after that?
Now, this is very different because the Thunder are so defensive oriented and the Pacers are so offensive oriented. Dort and Caruso, I mean, come on. They've been 2 of the best defenders in playoffs. But Nembhard, Nesmith, they run like motherfuckers and they don't stop. They don't stop. Yeah, it's I think it's a toss-up. I really think it is.
I agree. I think the Thunder's top 3 is way better than the Pacers' top 3. But when we get into the depth of scoring, which I think does matter a lot in the NBA Finals, that's where the Pacers have the advantage. One of the only advantages, we're going to be honest.
I'm scared that we're going to play good defense. We're going to play – you're not going to be able to stop the Pacers' defense. You're going to be offense. You're going to be able to contain them a little bit. And we're going to do that. But I'm afraid the Pacers is going to play good enough defense to where Dort is going to shit his pants when he takes a 3-pointer. Casey Wallace is going to shit his pants. Hartenstein is going to like airball those little floaters. Because if they make our offense uncomfortable and we're barely containing their offense, we're going to have some problems.
Let Shea play ISO, make Dort hit 7 threes.
In the best way possible, this is going to be the hardest matchup for both these teams this playoffs.
Yes.
And that's what you want to see in the NBA.
Yes,
both these teams have not played a team defensively or offensively as good as either of them. Like, the Thunder are going to be harassed like they have not been harassed so far as playoffs. Same thing with the Pacers because that Thunder press defense is ridiculous.
It's going to be so fun to watch Hallie and Shea getting picked up full court. Both of them. It's going to be sick.
I don't know why the Vegas has, like they said, the Thunder's the biggest favorite since like 2018. And it's making me angry because like if we do lose, they're going to make it seem like we chose like the greatest choke job ever, which I don't think it's going to be. I think it is closer to being a toss-up.
I don't understand why people aren't giving the Pacers credit either. They were dominant in the playoffs. They've been dominant.
They still are the underdogs. The Thunder should be their regular season true, like by far. Like the Thunder should be favorite. Maybe they're favorite, like 9.5 for the game one's a little crazy, but I would put it in a 6.5, 5.5 point favorites. Game one, like they are the better team all around.
Minus 700 something to win the series, which I think is ridiculous.
Is it that much? That was just game one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. It shouldn't be like this.
Ridiculous. It should not.
All right, let's put some money on the Pacers.
I would do that if I were you. And as a Thunder fan, it's a good investment to throw like $10 on there. I will say, if we lose this finals, which we're not going to, and it is unequivocally because of the lack of performance of this man, this jersey will get burned. I'm saying this on air right now. And I love Jalen Williams, but that Nuggets series scared me because I saw what I saw versus the Mavs last year, and it's a miracle we won that series, to be honest.
Cool. Just placed to bet on the Pacers.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
We don't endorse gambling. 21 over, please.
What were the odds?
Plus 500.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think that's absurd. For how well the Pacers have played, people forget they shit on the Cavs. They shit on them. Took a
I
big fat dub
still
all over them.
honestly think that the Thunder are going to sweep them.
You do?
Yeah, but those odds are too good to not pass up.
I don't know.
So, Rank, why do you think that?
They've just dominated everybody. The Thunder are the better team. Shea, we've gone over this. As much as I'm saying this is how they're going to stop them, Shea is so dominant. J-Dub is great. Isaiah Hartenstein with the mid-range jumper. The way that Thunder play offense is different than the Pacers are defended against. And they're going to pick apart this Pacers team. And the Thunder are young enough to be able to run and keep up the intensity of the Pacers.
So are the Pacers, though.
Yeah, but they are. But the Pacers haven't played a young team to keep up with their intensity. That's how
True.
the Pacers have beaten everybody by their intensity. Yeah, the Thunder can play scrappy like that. Put Caruso out there. Caruso's going to like...
Dude, I would start Caruso. I low-key start Caruso.
I think so. I think you. Sorry,
bench
Dort.
Dort.
No, because then why would you ever play Dort? You have to play him for. I'm serious. You have to play him so that he can guard the starters. That's like why he's out there.
Yeah.
You'll probably mirror his minutes with Halliburton. Like I'm sure that's what they'll do. I'm just afraid that like for anyone that's watched a Thunder game, it's just we always have it's like in the third quarter we just go on these runs where we have like 4 steals in a row and it's like a 2-on-0 or a 2-on-1 fast break. And that's kind of how we won the Nuggets series is just by you take a 3-point lead at halftime and turn it into a 15-point lead halfway through the third because they turn the ball over 4 times in a row. I'm afraid that's what I'm afraid of is that you're not going to be able to get those opportunities against the Pacers. And then it's going to be really, can we score in the half court?
That's been the Thunder's biggest question, and they haven't needed to answer that.
Exactly. They have not needed to answer that.
And that's exactly what the Pacers are going to make them do. It's going to be a great series. This is going to be one of the best NBA finals in a while.
I'm glad you're saying. I wish the media and the idiot fans out there thought that, because all I've seen is just like this finals doesn't matter.
I think it might be similar to the Pacers Celtics series last year, a really competitive sweep.
It could
That's
be.
fine. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
But it's better than what people are saying. That it's going to be blow up,
It's just
blow
the
up, blow up.
markets. The ESPN's got other talking
People
heads.
forget, man. That series, the Pacers could have swept that series.
Yeah.
They didn't. They got swept, but they could have swept.
I'm just ready for in 2 years. I hear Truett ask me how scared I am of the Pacers the entire season.
All right, let's get some predictions down here.
We're gonna have some uncomfortable conversations. If the Pacers win. Oh my God, that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, we will. I'm not going to have a lot of fun conversations.
True, I don't think you have to worry. You have to fail to succeed. You have to.
Yeah.
Way, man. You've won the season either way.
Thanks, man.
I got Thunder in 5. I'll give the Pacers the game. Truett,
It won't-
Liam. Let Liam
Yeah,
go
it
first.
won't hurt me, Liam. It won't hurt me.
I'm gonna go Thunder in 7.
I had a feeling. I'm going to go
I think
Thunder in
this-
6.
6 minimum.
If it goes to a game 7, dude, I will be shitting my pants all day. Hopefully it doesn't have to get there. All right, who's your MVP?
I mean, come on.
Shea.
The Aura Man himself, the merchant himself. Give me Shea.
Damn. Merchant. Dude, okay. I got to go on one more mini rant. No, it's not about you. It's about the fact that fucking Doris Burke was like, that's why people on Twitter call him the free throw merchant.
She said that?
Yes, dude. They're like game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. She said something about like on Twitter, the kids are calling him the free throw merchant. And Richard Jefferson was like, basically shut the fuck up. Like, come on.
What a dumbass. She's an idiot.
Bitch.
I'm sorry. I used to like her. She's an idiot.
She's the
You
worst.
remember the days when we had Mike Breen and Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson commentating the finals?
Man.
I gotta hear Doris Burke fucking. whatever.
All right. Any other NBA stuff before we talk some MLB? I don't think there's much MLB, but
Yeah. I got one thing. For this is a question for Truitt.
Mhm.
Truitt, say the Thunder do lose, and it's because of that man that you're wearing on your jersey. I think he gets absolutely dwindled in every single trade talk this offseason if that happens. What do you think?
That is the exact same thing that happened when James Harden got traded. Bro had the worst finals ever in 2012. The guy was probably around the same age as James. I'm not like obviously saying he's going to turn to James Harden. But I'm just saying. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying you got to hold on. Hold on. Jalen Williams also plays way better defense than James Harden ever did.
that's definitely true.
Yep, that's true.
So, but I think those conversations will happen. I think the media will just jump on that and be like, "Oh, trade Jalen Williams and picks for Giannis." I mean, shit, I wouldn't really mind that. All right, what do you guys got for baseball?
I got a couple things. Out of nowhere, the Detroit Tigers sold at the deadline and somehow snuck in the playoffs last season. Now they are the best team in the MLB. What a turnaround it's been for them. Shout out to Detroit. Detroit's on the come up, man. The Lions, the Pistons, and Tigers. Scary. Scary stuff. Another shout out I want to give to Rankin Ice Club. The New York Mets are the only team that has not allowed over 200 runs this season. So
Wow.
Best pitching in baseball.
they have the best home record by far, and they're starting to get hot. The boys are starting to get hot. I'm excited,
What does your guys' starting pitching look like?
dude. It's been unreal.
Clay Holmes.
Senga's,
So Clay Holmes
Sanga's been-
as a starter is doing well.
Great.
oh yeah, he's been great.
Pitched 7 innings last
Senga's
night.
been great. Holmes. Who else
Canning.
is there? Yeah, Canning's been really good. McGill's
Peterson's
been
been
good.
good. McGill's
Peterson's
been eh.
great. I think they've all been good, Rank. To be
Manaya's
honest.
back soon. Whatever,
Yeah.
maybe.
Shout out Manaya.
Montas at some point.
Shout out Manaya.
I
I still
know-
think that they splashed an ace at the deadline.
I know what you guys are gonna say. So like I don't even want to ask it because I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna talk about team success. And you know what I'm gonna ask. How are we feeling about Juan Soto?
You can't ask it now, Drew. He's just had a great series. He's had 2 home runs.
Yeah.
He's
I mean,
really hit it his
To be
stride.
fair,
All right, one great
we're
series.
playing the JV team, so it doesn't, those stats have an asterisk on them.
Still.
Yeah.
Come on, give me a better answer than that.
I love it, man. This is the same shit that happened to Lindor when he first got to the Mets.
Same thing happened to
And-
Diaz.
Yeah, Soto is a generational hitter, and the fact that he's going to be with Lindor for the until Rank and I have kids that are going to be Mets fans, it's going to be awesome. I'm so happy, man. We're 15 games above 500 in June. This isn't like a Mets normality, man.
I don't know how you guys have gone this long without mentioning Pete Alonso.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just
Pete's been great. I want a bigger shout out to my boy Brett Beatty, who has
Mm-hmm.
gone the ups and downs, the back and forth between minor leagues and majors, those quadruple A BS, and he has finally put it together. He's hitting well.
Yeah.
He's great defensive third baseman. He should be our starting third baseman every single day. Vientos should be our DH.
Mm-hmm.
That lineup and defensively would be so much better. I would like to see consistently an infield of Alonso, Acuna, Lindor, and Beatty.
Yeah,
Give it to me every day.
we're in a great situation because we have depth now.
Oh yeah.
Acuna, McNeil, Nimmo, Taylor, Marte.
Mauricio's coming up soon.
Yeah, Mauricio's batting 560 in AAA.
Yeah.
This team is tough. And I'm telling you, we're going to go out and get a Sandy. We're going to go out and get somebody like that.
Dude, Sandy's been buns.
Perfect time.
He
We'll
has
give
to
you
come
one.
to the Mets pitching coach center.
Yeah, we get the Stearns pitching lab, baby. Sprinkle it in.
All right. I want to go NL Central. Talk about there's a team that we're going to see. We are going to see this summer that I would say has two MVP candidates: Pete Crow Armstrong and Kyle Tucker. How about them Cubs?
They're a great team.
It pains me every time I see PCA.
Yeah.
So he was a Met. He was a prospect. Is that what I'm
Traded
saying?
him for Javi Baez,
3 months of Javi Baez.
who did thumbs down to the fans.
Yeah.
Had PCA played for you guys yet, or is he still
No.
just in the minors?
Just
He was a couple of years
Damn.
away, but still.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. Hey, man, I'd take Juan Soto over him any day of the
But
week.
PCA starting center, Liam.
That's true. Yeah, but I'd still take Juan Soto. I don't care.
Whatever. The Cubs are playing really well. It is fun to see. There's like 4 great teams in the MLB right now in the NL. It's the Dodgers, it's the Cubs, it's the Mets, it's the Phillies, and your Padres are still up there. But those are the top 4 in the NL right now.
I'm losing hope, man. I'm losing hope. May I
You
go
guys
on
are still-
my hate rant of this team?
You guys are only 2 games back. That's really impressive. To be fair,
yeah, it
yeah,
is.
the Dodgers, they've had, I think, 15 injured pitchers so far this season.
They're like starting pitchers that are injured, or they're pitching. They're pitchers that are injured. Like that payroll is more than like the pitching payroll of like 6 teams.
Yeah.
I believe it.
No, we're just not a good team, guys. I'm losing a lot of faith. Fernando has kind of fallen off a cliff. Manny's doing well, and no one's talking about it. Jackson Merrill is I love him more than any of my family members. It's really just been our pitching. Outside of shout out Nick Pivetta, great signing. I was thinking about you guys the other day because you always tell me that it's so hard to be consistently good in baseball. And I was watching Dylan Cease pitch, and I thought about that because he's been so bad this year. Michael King's been okay. Yu Darvish hasn't pitched yet. Bullpen's falling off a cliff. I'm just really glad I have the Thunder guys. That's all I'm going to say.
You'll be fine. You make the playoffs.
Sorry, I didn't mean to ruin the mood. It's just sad.
It's all right.
Now I need like a hoop script off me up or something like that.
Yeah. Why do you say we get into a hoop screen, right?
Let's get into Hoops Grid. You want me?
I'm Villanova basketball side real quick while Trio pulls us up. Not much news other than we got 2 home and aways coming up. Home and homes. We got we're playing Michigan and Wisconsin this year. Michigan, in Wisconsin. I think Michigan, and they're coming to us the following year.
Let's go.
Wow.
So Michigan, Wisconsin, BYU is the heavy part of our out of conference schedule this year, so that should be good.
That's actually really fun. Shout out the Oilers. Morale here in Dallas was very low when the Stars lost.
Ooh.
These are
Wow.
Liam's favorite players of all time. Wow.
Paul God and Cupcake.
Um,
1,000 career rebounds for Chris Paul.
yeah.
Bismack Biyombo.
Oh, good one.
Damn, that's not diamond.
Sorry, I'm gonna have a bunch of Durant ones. I bet.
Yeah, can we get like old Durant, like Seattle Sonics Durant?
Oh shit. Okay. What's his name? Kristich. Someone help me out here. Chris. Yeah, there he is.
I have no idea.
Did he score?
Nenad? His name is Nenad?
I guess he didn't. He was a Sonic, I think.
Who the fuck?
Let's try DJ. Yep. Let's try.
Wally Zerbiak.
Mitch McGarry. Oh yeah, you want to do Wally for the? Were they teammates?
Yeah, it's gotta be on those old
Holy
Sox teams.
shit, Rank.
Oh wow!
Nice pull. Look at that
That's your
fucking
boy.
jawline. Good pull, Rank. Guys, let's ball
Wow,
out
data.
all diamonds here. Come on. Let's do
Gotta
it.
get rid of Bismack.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Trying to think of who.
Chris Paul Hornets days.
Yeah,
What
cheap.
about Nene? Nene? Amika Okafor.
Nice, you got it. You guys have just been on so many fucking
You
teams.
try Okafor for points.
Wow. Let's have a day, boys.
I think who else did he play with? Willie Green, Chris Paul. He may have played with him on the Clippers.
Wow.
Hey, come on.
This is gonna be tough. We need to think of those bad Devin Booker teams.
Yeah.
Who was like his best friend that got cut? They did him like the guy that was like 5'9".
Not him, but I've seen. Do you think TJ Warren's got 5,000 points?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had,
You want to throw him in one of the other ones, maybe?
Try
So, like-
assists, maybe.
Oh shit.
TJ, the possession ends here, Warren.
Okay. Nice Rank.
There you go. All right, 2 more diamonds, boys. 2 more diamonds. I know Aaron Baines played for them, right? Does he have
Ooh, Aaron Baines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. No.
Oh,
Okay.
just
all right,
off.
We'll fix it. We'll fix it.
Oh, I got rebounds.
Oh yeah. Who do you want? I was gonna go Marquise Chris.
Gugliotta.
Oh God. How do you spell?
GU.
Sorry, GU. What's
G.
next? Okay.
G.
Nice.
Oh, nice. All right.
We gotta be
We
really
gotta-
confident about this one. Okay, so I thought of the guy. I'd be okay if we didn't go with him. I was gonna go with Tyler Ennis.
Ooh.
Is he too recent? I feel like I'm fine with that.
You sure?
I'm fine with that.
I'm gonna be really angry if I.
Wait, are
don't
you
read
thinking
it.
of Ulyss or
Oh,
was it James Ennis and Tyler Ulyss?
wait. I'm not gonna enter them, but I'm just gonna see. Okay, no, that's Tyler
Oh, there is
Ennis, and then I
Tyler Ennis.
think both played.
What about like Raja Bell?
That's a good one. You want to go with
Wasn't
that?
he like well known though?
Yeah, I think Ulyss or Ellis. I'm fine with.
Yeah. Try.
I'm gonna try Ennis because I feel like people know Ulyss a little bit. I'm gonna be so pissed. Okay, maybe I'm just bullshitting, guys. Sorry. Okay. What?
Yeah.
Didn't play enough? I guess 1,000
A lot of
assists is kind of a lot. Yeah.
Who else
Shit.
was there? Bledsoe, IT,
Tim Thomas.
Tim
Tim
Thomas.
Thomas, that's a good shout. Nova
Yes.
guy.
Yeah. Shout out Rank here. Oh!
Come on.
What?
So
Let's go, baby. What percentage should we get?
What?
That's
Ooh, I thought-
I'm
thought it was
proud
way
of that.
better. Yeah.
I've never seen that. Whew.
Rank, dude. Hall of Fame right there, baby.
good shit.
That's
man.
beautiful.
That's a Villanova pull right there.
Yeah, of course it was a Villanova guy. It just makes sense. Good shit, Rank.
There we
It's an
go.
all time.
All right. Boys, we got some birthdays today.
I love it.
Starting over in baseball. One of the legends of the game, the flying Hawaiian, Raul Ibanez. Happy birthday to Raul.
Raul.
Raul. Let's see. I don't know anybody else on this list. So it's just Raul today. Shout out Raul. Moving over to basketball. One of the shortest players to ever play the game, Earl Boykins, turns 40.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Happy birthday to you. A legend of the game, Kenny Atkinson, 58 years old.
Damn, I didn't know he played.
Shout out Kenny.
Holy shit.
Shout out Kenny. Moving over to football. I don't know any of these guys. Oh, I've heard of this guy, Tommy Tremble. Shout out Tommy. AJ, that's the wrong one. Never mind. Some guy that just goes by Mr. Alexander. Happy
Bro.
birthday, Mister.
Couldn't get a goddamn first name. Are you kidding me?
He's too good.
Lucky Whitehead turns 33 today.
Mm,
Shout out Lucky Whitehead.
yummy.
Show it to
Yummy.
it's not Andre Crosby, Andre Crosby.
Oh,
That's a
is that
bad
UN? How do you spell that?
Yeah, how do you,
UNDRAE.
Hmm.
And then
Andre.
of course
Andre.
our guy by the name of Hobie Brenner turned 66. Shout out Hobie.
I thought you were gonna say Hobie Bryant.
Hobie Bryant, that's crazy. In other news, we got Sergio Aguero, one of the best Argentine soccer players ever. Aguero! Happy birthday to him. Abby Wambach, she played soccer, I think, for
Let's
the US.
go.
yeah, she did.
Ambi.
Happy birthday to her.
Yeah.
And then
Long back shots, baby. Yep.
that's all I got.
No, there's got to be more.
Want me to just read off more?
Yeah,
Okay,
please.
I think we should end on that note.
Please read off more.
That's all I got. I don't have any other ones for you. Nobody else was born today in the world. So.
Damn.
Sorry.
Damn. It's tough. Gotta end on that one. Well, thank you everybody for watching Fun the Locker Room. Haven't done our plugs in a while. You're gonna see. I'm gonna make sure that you're gonna see this hoops grid on our Twitter. So shameless plug. Go follow Fun the Locker Room Twitter. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel that you're watching on right now. So it's super easy. You're watching it. You might as well subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Yep, right where Liam's pointing, notification bell. It's somewhere right there. Shout out our sponsors, Coke. Shout out our sponsors, Pepsi. We got both of them. Only team in the game to get both of them. And always have more fun in the locker room. You know, if you're ever feeling down or sad or going through something in life, just get in that locker room and go have some fun. Bring a buddy. It's better if you have a friend there with you. But as always, we'll be back very soon, probably recapping the finals, getting fully into baseball season. Don't forget, you're going to want to be subscribed and notified because we're going to Chicago, the Fun in the Locker Room team, and our great amigo, Tom Casper. We are going to the Cubs-Orioles. Shout out my prediction for World Series Orioles. And we're going to do a lot of good exclusive content there, so you're not going to want to miss it. But if you don't subscribe or follow the Twitter, you're going to miss it. So we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for being